Republican Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene has been in a feud with the Trump-loving lawyer Linwood for several weeks now. Recently, with them calling each other communists, basically fighting over who loves Trump more and who's doing what. And the reason the feud really began, or at least one of the first things that happened in the feud, was Linwood accused Marjorie Taylor Greene of admitting that Trump lost by trying to impeach Biden. And by trying to impeach Biden, that means you do think he's the legitimate president. You don't think the election was stolen. So it devolved from there. But over the weekend, Linwood actually revealed something that might implicate Marjorie Taylor Greene, not just in a criminal activity, but possibly in multiple criminal activities. And it was a very simple revelation. And Linwood, I don't think, even intended to imply that she may have broken the law. But he said via telegram that she still owes him $5,000 for legal work that he did for her campaign. And she has not paid it. And that wouldn't be legal. And there's actually several different legal avenues that if Linwood decided, he could take here. Here's what it is. First and foremost, when a lawyer takes on a client, as Linwood did for Marjorie Taylor Greene's campaign, she was fighting two different defamation lawsuits. Linwood is a actually fairly decent defamation lawyer, so she hired him. He represented her campaign and didn't get paid. But when a lawyer takes on a client, that is a contract. It is viewed as a contract. The lawyer provides legal services. You pay the lawyer for those legal services. If the party fails to pay the lawyer, that is then a breach of contract. That is how that is viewed in a court of law. So if Linwood chose, he could go after her for breach of contract because she, according to him, has not paid the $5,000. That's just one of several legal problems that Marjorie Taylor Greene could be in. The second one is that if Linwood says, no, don't worry. I mean, she didn't pay me for it, but I was just helping her out, which he actually did say I was just wanting to help her campaign. Problem with that, though, buddy, is you had already given the legal amount of money to her campaign. And while lawyers and law firms are allowed to volunteer their services for campaigns and represent them, it is also viewed as an in-kind campaign contribution. Which, if you haven't already given the legal limit, no problem with that whatsoever. But you did. So if Linwood tries to say, I am donating my time to her campaign, first of all, he would get in trouble for donating over the legal limit, but more importantly and more severely, Marjorie Taylor Greene would get in trouble for accepting over the legal limit in campaign contributions, even though it was a difference between cash on one hand and legal services on the other donated to the campaign if he goes that route. Either way, you can't do that. There is a legal limit for either direct cash or in-kind contributions. Then, of course, you have the other possible legal issue of the fact that she didn't report it. So if he were to say that I donated it, and sure, I'll take the hit on that, whatever the legal consequences may be, hell, Linwood might be stripped of his law license anyway, then she gets in trouble not just for accepting the in-kind contribution over the legal limits, but also for not reporting it. So the ball is in Linwood's court. Whichever way he chooses to go on this, if he chooses to go anyway, could result in Marjorie Taylor Greene landing in a lot of hot water. And we have already seen, just in the last week, she's already facing legal problems for campaign spending because her PAC and her campaign both released identical ads, and that's not legal either. So Marjorie Taylor Greene, if this were a functioning country, would be facing a lot of legal problems. But unfortunately, it's not. Politicians rarely get popped for these kind of violations, so my prediction is that unfortunately Marjorie Taylor Greene is going to be just fine, but hopefully $5,000 poorer once she finally decides to pay that bill that she owes to Linwood.